So, Grim, horse walks into a bar. Bartender gets confused on idioms and jokes and serves the horse some water, but the horse doesn't drink it. Welcome back to Worth the Dram. I'm Red.
And I'm Grim. This is your home for whiskey reviews, revived opinions, and two guys in the mid-30s just horsing around. You get it though, right?
I do get it.
We've got horsies on our labels.
We horsies.
As my daughter would put it, we have horsies.
Yes, we do have horsies on our label.
Hossies.
Hossies.
Yep. It's almost hussies.
It's very close.
Yeah. She's learning. She's not very good at English yet, but she's getting there.
I used to say fruck as a kid instead of truck.
Okay.
It was fruck. So my parents always did a double take.
My sister used to call me Friss.
Really?
I think it was Tissy until she got to a certain age, and then it turned into Friss until she could actually pronounce.
I think I'm going to call you Frissy from now on.
Frim.
Hi, I'm Red, and this is Frissy.
Anyway, so
we're looking at Belle Meade.
Yeah, today we're taking a look at Belle Meade. So this has been a long-time recommendation from a friend of the show, Blakey.
Thank you, Blakey.
Yep.
I think this was like first couple of episodes.
Yes. As soon as we started this project, yeah, she was like, do Belle Meade. We'll get it at batch. We didn't get it at batch. We actually found it for like $38 at Costco up in Chandler. And my sister-in-law picked this up for us. So we also have Sarah and Dane to thank for grabbing this for us. So they did donate this bottle for our shtick.
Well, I very much appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
I'm a co-recipient, I guess. So yes, thank you very much.
Belle Meade comes from the recently revived Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery in Tennessee.
Straight out of Kentucky.
Straight out of Kentucky. All right, if we start doing T-shirts, I want the state outline of Tennessee, and it says straight out of Kentucky. I really want that. So this is one of 30 labels that Charles Nelson produced way back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
However, this one differed from his other labels by being co-produced with Sperry and Wade Company, which is another big label.
Yeah, from back in the day.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a modern example would be, I mean, we did Redbreast last week, so Tullamore Dew was owned by William Grant and Son,
Mm-hmm.
but Middleton Distillery was producing the distillate for Tullamore Dew.
Yeah.
So back in the day, this would have been something similar.
Yep. Yeah, you got it. So Belle Meade hit the market in 1878, and it instantly went straight to the top.
Toast to the town.
It was known as top quality at a great value.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it took a big hit in 1909 when Tennessee, sorry, I almost said Kentucky. Tennessee adopted Prohibition early, 11 years early, I think.
Why Tennessee?
12 years early.
Yeah.
Was it 1921 or 1920? Yeah, I think it was 1921. Oh my goodness.
The kids are having fun.
The kids are having fun.
That's the important thing.
She is fine. She is completely fine.
I think it's hide and go seek.
She's winning.
All right, so Tennessee started Prohibition early, killed Belle Meade in 1909.
Yep. So in 2006, Andy and Charlie Nelson were headed to a butcher shop in Greenbrier, Tennessee, and they happened to see a historical marker. Sorry, the girls are killing me. So they happened to see a historical marker honoring the Nelson Greenbrier Distillery from back in the old days. And, you know, they had heard stories of a distiller in their family history, and they were like, well, I guess it wasn't just some guy in the woods making moonshine.
Yeah.
It was a real thing.
Can you imagine, like, growing up with those stories? Like, yeah, our great-great-grandfather was a moonshine dealer back in the day.
Yeah. So, fun fact.
Fun fact!
Fun fact. The Belle Meade label is almost exactly as it was 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago.
That is a fun fact.
It is a fun fact. So, the horse to the right, on the right side of the label, is Bonnie Scotland.
Bonnie Scotland.
Bonnie Scotland, sorry, yeah. I can't do it.
Bonnie.
I have not had enough to drink to do my Braveheart.
She's a Bonnie wee lass.
So, Bonnie Scotland.
Speaking of Scotch.
Yeah, I know. Bonnie Scotland was one of the founders of the Northern Dancer bloodline, who you'd recognize as Secretariat and Toby Maguire.
Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit.
Yeah, Seabiscuit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, what was it Alan? Andy. Man, I'm bad with names. Andy and Charlie. So they're descendants
Yes.
of
I'm gonna start
Nelson. They're descendants of Charles Nelson, and it's on that side.
Yep.
So they reached out to the Sperry and Wade family descendants, who actually had examples of the artwork, the original artwork from the 1800s for this little thing there. Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
They had examples of the original artwork, so they actually were able to get their hands on the original bottles, original labels, and were able to recreate those. So I thought that was cool that the families kind of came back together.
Oh my God, the Nelson boys have discovered their heritage. they're gonna bring it back.
Them Nelson boys are at it again. So this being a relatively new distillery, or revived distillery, they're not currently making their own distillate. They're getting it from MGP. Mm-hmm. And so they actually spent a long time perfecting the blends and what they wanted to do. So this expression of Belle Meade is actually a blend of two high rye bourbons from MGP. The first is 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. The second is 70% corn, 36% rye, and 9% malted barley. Combined, sad language for combined, that makes 64% corn, 36% rye, and 6% malted barley. So high
right
rye
here,
mash bill, but
I would have done I did one of those
Yeah,
nifty,
like a
complicated
little-
mash bill things that I did for, I think it was the High West, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
because Boo Rye.
Yep. Boo Rye.
There's no age statement, but the barrels that they use are between 4 and 6 years old.
Being a straight bourbon.
Between 6 and 8 years old.
Oh, well, I was going to say, being a straight bourbon, it would have to be at least 2, and with if it's older than 4, it doesn't need an age statement.
Yeah, so they're between 6 and 8. So whenever you give the age, you give the youngest of the two. So it's 6 years, and this is extremely small batch.
Yes.
So I think
Every year?
Every year, but I think combined it's 4 barrels.
Yeah.
So when they do their blends, they get 4 barrels each batch, which is super small batch.
I can tell you, I can smell.
Yeah.
It's desserty, like a bourbon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's like classic bourbon on the nose.
There's like
I spilled some on me.
there's a hint of like a mapley sweetness, and it's not at all like the maple whiskey that we tried. But it's
The Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, the Aunt Jemima. But
I don't think so. 90 proof.
90
on this
proof.
one.
Yep.
I only say that because I get a little bit of astringency on the nose.
Yeah.
Just a hint, and it's really just hey, I'm more than 80 proof. But no, I get classic bourbon. So there's
Classic bourbon.
Caramel in there, oak. Yeah, a little. I don't want to say maple syrup, but
Not maple syrup, but
almost like maple tree almost.
Well, all right.
That
So
makes
I don't know
sense.
if you've ever seen maple sap being boiled, processed,
I have not.
and broken down to maple syrup.
No.
It's really all it is. You just extract it and boil it
Yeah.
for however many hours. I don't remember. My grandfather used to do it when I was a kid.
It's like essence of maple.
Yeah. So it's more of that fresh maple sap being cooked to
Yeah.
maple syrup. It's not a syrup yet, but there is that mapley air.
I don't know how to explain it other than to me. You explained it really well, and I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was really chewing on those words.
That was really good. That I don't know how to explain it other than that mapliness. When you smell maple syrup, and you're like, that kind of. I'm going to say a word, and I know you're going to laugh at me. And I'm talking to the camera, but I'm also talking to you. Tree sweetness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, it does. It does. It's, I'm gonna say for anyone
A
who's
floral sweetness. How about that? Like
no, well, you're right, a floral sweetness, but like you actually kind of got it with that tree sweetness, and it's not like I don't know many people that have spent their childhood licking trees or anything, but like it's the kind of air that surrounds a tree when you're up in the branches. Like if you grew up climbing trees, like I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, I appreciate that because my brain was trying to come up with words, and I landed on tree sweetness, and I'm like, that's what we're going with. But I'm ready to taste.
I'm ready if you are. So, Blakey, Sarah, Dane.
Blanja.
Thank you.
Caramel, vanilla. You get that rye baking spice because it's a high rye mash bill.
Yep. I am getting. All right, so now in the finish, and it's still going. Actually, that's surprising for a bourbon.
Yeah.
Still going. I'm getting a little bit of like. Ooh, there's that rye.
Yeah.
So there's the rye, but that rye is riding shotgun with a little bit of toffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as it's actually. This might be the least sweet bourbon that we've tried. I think.
I think that's probably the high rye in there.
I think so.
I'm gonna say it again. It does remind me of the Woodinville a little bit.
A little bit.
But the finish seems longer.
Much longer.
And so I'm gonna actually on the finish. I get like there's a sweetness on the finish coming out.
So that sweetness. You're right. At the beginning of the finish, there's a sweetness. There's an underlying bitterness.
Yeah.
Yep. Let it rest. I think the bitter is on like the back sides of your tongue. Get it in there. Let it rest and then swallow. After dark. And then there's like a. It's not a bad bitterness. I
think I'm interpreting that as the rye.
You think so?
For me, that's I think what I'm interpreting
Okay.
as the rye. But I do feel it like where you're saying.
Yep.
But yeah, for me that's. But it starts out classic bourbon. For
Yes.
me. And then that rye, you're right. The rye kind of rides that sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it goes to the finish, I get I don't know, a darker. Maybe that's what you were calling toffee, like a darker sweetness. If that makes sense.
You know what it is? It's an underripe cherry almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Is underripe sour or bitter for cherries?
I was gonna say it would be sour, but the last time I had an underripe cherry was never.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess I just something dangling from my eyelash.
Are we gonna say it again? Dark fruit.
Dark fruit. Yeah, but it's not a sweet dark fruit. It's definitely a bitter dark fruit. It's something that's not. If it were cherries and I picked one out of the bunch, I'd like, no, I'm not gonna do it anymore. And that's what I'm not saying. Like here in this application, I like that bitterness, but were it a fruit and I was expecting that sweet tart cherry, that's not what I certainly wouldn't go back for another.
You know what I'm getting a little bit? That feel when you have like a cinnamon stick and your mouth is kind of, I don't want to say spicy, but you kind of get that spicy tingling feel. So on the
are you putting the whole cinnamon stick in your mouth?
No, but I mean like a cinnamon candy.
Okay, that's wildly different.
Sorry. Like those cinnamon candy sticks. They're like the swizzle sticks, but they're cinnamon.
No.
No.
Old-fashioned candy sticks. They're like a lollipop without a stick. They're just.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like a tubular piece of. That's what I mean. But that kind of lingering, spicy, almost numbness feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Third or fourth sip, because I didn't get it on the first few. Third or fourth sip finish, I get kind of that cinnamonness coming out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna finger my glass real quick.
The old finger method, huh? I think I'm gonna have the rest of this glass as it is.
Yeah.
And then I'll try the second glass when we come back to it, and then I'll probably add some water to that one.
Ooh.
Am I wrong?
I like it.
All right.
So for me, it's tamped. So my palate's a little sweeter. I think we've talked about that before. This, I think, tamps down some of that rye spiciness, some of that cinnamon on the finish.
Okay.
And amps up that cherry, amps up that vanilla and caramel.
Yeah. All right, so it doesn't change the overall profile for me.
Yeah.
It brings the candied flavors to the forefront.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting that bitterness in the finish.
Yeah. I mean, all the flavors are still there. I just have amped up sweetness.
Okay. So I'm the opposite. Like if anything,
Yeah.
I think the bitterness might be amped up a little bit.
That was a weird cut.
Yeah. I've got nothing, man. Like
You got something. You are a spiritual leader.
all right, yeah, all right, yeah. You're all right. So you're referring to me being the minister.
Yeah.
So this
yeah.
is all right. So we connected dots between takes while we were kind of just chumming it up.
You had a dot over here, and I had a dot over here, and we.
I know where you're going with that. You are unity, right?
Are you? Okay.
Do I have to do another? That Stormlight Archive reference was hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well,
You gotta
there-
save it though, right? I mean, you can.
I'm gonna have to export it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the dots that you are connecting is that this was donated by Sarah and Dane, whose wedding I just officiated
Yes.
last week. 2 weeks ago. Last week? It was last week.
Last week.
2 weeks ago, as of this episode airing.
Last week as of filming.
Yes, last
Yeah.
week as of right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So me being a minister is why
Time
Red
is
called
hard.
me. Time is really hard.
Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah. Stuff. So that's why I've been calling Grim our spiritual leader.
But I mean, since then I've done a few weddings, and I really enjoy it. You know,
Yeah.
It's been for close friends and family. And Sarah and Dane's wedding, I was going through the vows where I have a section where I have both partners repeat after me.
Yeah.
I will honor you and cherish you. I will hold you in my heart. And I get to this part and I go, I am never going to give you up. They repeated. I am never going to let you down. And that's when Dane got on and he started laughing. Okay.
So we didn't touch on it in the first. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
All of that sharpness is gone from the
Yeah.
nose. And I'm getting all that sweetness that I think you got on the first glass.
I was gonna say, we mentioned it was 90 proof. I don't
Yeah.
think I mentioned it drinking the first glass. It didn't drink like it drank like an 80 proof, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like you didn't feel it being higher proof. And I know 10 proof doesn't always, some people scoff or 90 proof. I did 126 over the weekend.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I did, but had I spent like the previous days drinking 126 proof again, then this would probably
Yeah.
hit below its class
Yeah.
weight. You know,
I do think it hits below. It doesn't drink like it's
it's smooth.
smooth.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to say.
I think so. All of the bite, or all the bites in the flavor from the rye. It's not. None of it is any
Yeah.
alcohol burn.
Yeah. I don't even really have a heater in my chest.
No, I don't either.
But you're right. After sitting for a little bit, that alcohol astringency is just gone.
Yeah. So the citrus zestiness, citrus peel that I was looking for before
Yeah.
is there now.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
It's fresh. It's a fresh.
Yeah, it's more
smell.
present than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I don't get as much maple
Nope.
after resting, but I kind of get that. I still get caramel, still get oak, but now it's like citrus and freshness.
Yeah. I got nothing left to add.
No, I think that was good. I think we nailed
Nothing
that.
left to add.
Nailed it.
I can do it. Let's do it. Spicier.
I was gonna say, it. As soon as it hit my mouth, I was like, "Oh, that's classic bourbon."
Still, yeah.
But then, it's very similar to the Boo Rye, where it hits and you're like classic bourbon, and then it transforms to rye. Not quite as much punch. Not quite as much. Not quite as much flavor there. But when I first had it, it was like, oh, that's more bourbon. And then on the finish, and as it kind of morphed, it was like, oh, there's the rye.
Okay. So, I mean, my first impression, like, it's that, like, I got the rye right up front, and I feel like it is, after resting, it is spicier.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I like it a lot
Yeah.
more after resting. This is a resting bourbon for me.
I definitely get more rye on the finish. But for me,
See,
it's
mine
still-
was right up
yours
front,
is-
and that bitterness has kind of faded from the finish a little bit.
Yeah. I almost wonder if that's citrus peel. You know, when you're getting lemon zest or lime zest, and you
Yeah.
get into the white stuff, and it's like bitter. It's more bitter.
Yeah, so that's probably
the bitterness that I think.
okay. So that's probably where I was getting it in the finish in the first
Yeah.
glass.
I think so. So I'm gonna add water to my glass this time. I did last time, but
I'm gonna have one more sip. I like this. So in between takes, I kind of confided that this, like, first impressions, this really wasn't making the cut for me. Like, it's not bad, but it certainly is kind of it's working its way down the list of my top 10.
yeah,
You know, obviously, like, at first impressions, I had other bourbons that I would put in front of this,
Yeah.
that I'd reach for before. Second glass, though,
night and day.
night and day. Yeah, thank you. I was gonna make
I
some.
got you.
I couldn't decide between, like, or some noise like like I like it.
I could see it in your eyes what you're trying to say.
I can see it in your eyes. Anyway, yeah. So this is definitely a resting bourbon for me.
Yeah.
This is one that I would pour myself a glass, put some ribeyes on the grill,
Yeah.
finish them up, and then come back and enjoy.
See, I still prefer it with water. Just a couple drops. I think I added 3 drops of water.
I think
So,
three's our standard. At
I
this
think
point.
I also prefer it resting. And then I prefer it with water after resting as well. And that's because, to me,
It's crazy that 3 little drops of water. Because, like, the analogy is always it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like, a drop of water shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But, like, this tiny, tiny little bit of water.
it does something.
Yep. Oh, my God. All
So
right.
I can't remember if you got into your thoughts with a couple drops of water after resting.
I think I could do without.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I prefer it with a couple drops of water, and same thing like I said with the first glass. It brings out more of those sweet flavors to the forefront.
Yeah.
All those, that rye, that dark fruit, that caramel, that vanilla. Like the caramel and vanilla are a little bit more forward. All those flavors are still there. I just prefer that sweetness up front.
So I got to tell you, I love the nose on the first glass, but definitely for sipping, it's a rester for me.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
agree. No, I definitely agree. I would rest this one a little bit, and then for me, if you like a little bit sweeter, I would add a little bit of water to it.
I say no, but obviously,
Yeah,
however you like your whiskey.
that is the correct way.
Well,
Wait,
that's-
I got that wrong.
That's the wrong way to say our slogan. I guess
you like your whiskey, that's the left way.
however you want to say your slogan is okay. Sometimes.
We don't judge. We're judgment-free zone here.
Yep.
Are we?
First 90 days, judgment free.
Okay, good. I was not successful in hunting, so that is still the only elk that we've gotten.
Were you out for elk?
No, I was out for mule deer, but that's still the only antlered beast I've gotten. Next to Clancy.
That's right. We haven't yet announced. So we do have a winner, a front runner in our.
Winner.
Yep.
Thanks to everybody who commented on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. The winning by just a few votes, Clancy Hopkins.
Clancy Hopkins.
So,
I am in favor of adding a middle name. Like
Yes.
a quotation, a nickname. What do you
Yes.
think it is?
No, I was going to say, is it the one that popped up on Instagram?
Is it hopscotch?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Clancy Hopscotch Hopkins.
Yes. I'm a
That's
fan
a-
of that as well.
A mouthful.
Clancy Hopscotch Hopkins. So thank you. Clancy now has a name.
So thank you for everyone who participated.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of participation,
Participation.
send us pictures.
Safe for work pictures.
We beg you. Safe for work pictures. We've gotten 2 inappropriate pictures.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it happens.
Anyway, please send us in your safe for work pictures of you enjoying your favorite dram of a bourbon, scotch, or whiskey, or just a cool setting.
I think we have said this is a U.S. only competition because we did get one.
We
entry
did,
from
yeah. So
Argentina.
unfortunately, yes, we do have to limit the entrance to U.S. residents because we have export laws for giveaways that we have to abide by. We'd like to do something special for our overseas whiskey enjoyers,
Yes.
but we're working on the details for that. But
Yeah. So unfortunately, right now it is U.S. only. But Instagram, Facebook, or
infinite contest at worthadram.com. Now I don't even have to add the sound effect.
I know that was really good. Let us know what you think. Deadline is December 4th, and then we'll be announcing it December.
So there's 1 month left.
1 month.
I'm not going to keep this. I'm not going to keep any of that shit. That just went way off track.
Alright, you got like 6 minutes to
All right, let's wrap it up. We still need to do the banner.
Yeah.
Hands are warm.
Knees weak, palms are sweaty.
Is vomit on the sweater already?
Mom's spaghetti.
All right, so
All right,
nice and hot.
here we go. I feel like I'm missing the bass. Like I was too high pitched.
I'm curious how you're going to put bass
All about that bass.
into your false trumpet.
All right, hold on.
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe here on YouTube. Check out our Facebook and Instagram where we post all sorts of...
Nonsense.
Actually, the Facebook gets the nonsense because that's all
true.
the exclusive blooper cuts every Sunday.
Yes.
Instagram gets all...
no, because I started posting the blooper cuts to Instagram as well.
Okay, so Instagram gets the nonsense and the cool stuff.
Yes. So if you're gonna follow us anywhere, follow us on Instagram right now.
Yeah,
At Worth the Dram.
at Worth the Dram, right there.
We post every day, sometimes twice a day.
I did not. Well, I almost posted twice a day, but I did not. Slogan?
Remember, however you like your whiskey, that is the right way.
I hate how you need cues every time.